Day sesh. Hanging out during the day today. Cheers. And welcome to Hanging Out During the Day with you. Hanging out. Hanging out during the day.
Your eyebrows.
She plucks my eyebrows sometimes, man, and it hurts. Out of nowhere, I'll have a crazy eyebrow. She'll just come over and be like, "That eyebrow is crazy. You got to get rid of that eyebrow." And then I'm just sitting there. I'm like, "It's an eyebrow. It'll be fine." She's like, "Nope, got to go." And I'm just like, "Dee!" And then she plucks it, and it hurts. It hurts.
Whip.
But then you show me the eyebrow, and it's this white, long, stringy thing, and I'm just like...
It has its own continent.
I'm like, okay, maybe that eyebrow could have gotten retired.
Yep.
I'll keep that eyebrow out of my face for a while. So I'm always thankful that you get rid of these gross, ugly eyebrows that are...
No problem.
Yeah, clinging to my face.
I don't overly adjust your face, but sometimes those eyebrows...
I appreciate you taking care of my stray eyebrows, though. The eyebrows that are going all over the place.
Yes.
I appreciate that very much. So thank you
Good.
for being my eyebrow guardian and my cleaner of stray eyebrows that
You're
are
welcome.
completely gross.
You're welcome.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, right on.
Sweet.
Sweet. Sweet.
Sweet. Emotion.
Yeah, that's a good song. That's a good song.
It is a good song.
So we brought in a little bit of a fossil.
Well, he's a replica.
It's a replica.
I don't know what he's made out of. I found him in a location where I will not mention.
Replica. A replica. You
It's a
found
replica.
this replica. And...
I don't know what it's made out of. Probably resin.
Yeah, it was kind of hiding. And do you know what this one is? Or is it kind of unknown?
Without like double checking my skulls, it's either Struthiomimus or Baryonyx.
Struthiomimus or Baryonyx?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Spinosaurus because it doesn't have
It's not
the
Spinosaurus.
certain ornamentation on it. So
What leads you to conclude that it's not Spinosaurus?
because Spinosaurus has like you can kind of see there's a little bit of a bump there, but they have a bigger little bump here.
Okay. Let's peel off to the side a little bit so maybe it'll get a bigger... It just stand out that way, so then that way it'll probably get just for a second. So then it'll probably be a clearer shape of it. So you're saying it's not that because of a bump?
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad that you're able to look at those and get that decisive because of the knowledge that you have into knowing exactly
There's
which
a,
one it
there's,
is
there's a
or
bump.
is not. Which one it's not.
Yeah.
So I think what like as I've been learning, it's easier to conclude in a lot of ways.
It's a Spinosaurid.
Yeah, so it's easier to conclude in a lot of ways which ones it isn't, and then that kind of lets you... So the way I'm learning it and the way I'm understanding it in my own kind of vision of understanding is that it's easier to dial it down to what it's not, and then it's a little bit harder to conclude exactly what it is.
That's the way I do it. I like doing deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, well,
It's
it
not-
doesn't have that, so it's
Yeah.
not that.
Okay,
It
yeah,
doesn't have this, so it's not that.
Exactly.
And then you can narrow it down to however many, and you're like, okay, if it's this one, it should have this on it.
Yeah.
It's like ceratopsians. Ceratopsians, you go by the skull, always.
Okay.
Their body plan is all the same for every species.
Okay, cool.
The only difference is the little ornamentations in their skulls, or big ones.
Cool.
And their frills and their horns and stuff.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I've definitely been living with the fascination lately of just the amount of animals and human-like things that have been part of the planet way before us. And I have an endless fascination for the start of it all and like what started, humans and what started kind of the evolution of people.
It's the biggest question of life.
I know, and it fascinates me. And every now and then I just let myself get intrigued and I look at books and I read things and I'll never be able to fully understand, but it's something that's so intriguing to me. And it can capture a lot of my time just trying to slow down and figure out, like, how did this thing all start? How did people get here? The questions that are endless, you know what I mean? the questions surrounding the dinosaurs, but yet how much we already know, you know? So for me, it's just so fascinating to spend that time to try and figure out like evolution to, you know, the degree of understanding that we have. And clearly there's a lot of questions that exist in that meshing, but we're getting closer to a deeper understanding of fossils and old humans and Homo sapiens and just general kind of first rung people, apes. They're not really too sure. The evolution is still kind of questionable, but like 3.5 million years ago, like they found skulls from and stuff like that. That's so long ago. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy when you think of, like, yeah, there was like some ape-like things that had human-like skulls over 3 million years ago. It's just you sit there and you're like, okay, all right, okay. It's like,
and like when you start
that's a long time ago.
Like even
holy shit.
Like the woolly mammoth was on our planet like 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's not that long ago.
20,000 years ago is not that long ago compared to 3 million years ago.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you're looking at time, but definitely an interesting thing to sit down and try to learn about. But there's so many questions and so many different things that paleontologists and that have learned over time that to me it's just fascinating because I'm always learning when it comes to that, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm not like one of the more advanced people in that field. So when I go into learning that, I'm always just something fresh.
Oh,
you know?
even
It's just
advanced
like something
people
fresh.
in that field will tell you that they learn new things all the time.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, all right, okay.
And our understanding of things evolves and develops, and then you have to go back and look at things that you thought you knew at one point, and reevaluate it and see, like, okay, with this new knowledge, does that still apply, or is it different now?
Yeah. It's true. And especially with dinosaurs and the database that they're creating is so big now. Oh. But it's always changing at the same time, depending on what's new, what they find, what might be outdated information and whatnot.
But what's cool now is they are actually developing a full-on database.
That's cool.
For years, it was if you wanted to study something, you had to contact a museum that had that specimen. Mm-hmm. And then if it unfortunately ended up being one of those specimens that got destroyed somewhere along the course of human history, then you're fucked. You don't have anything to look at besides maybe some pictures, which can't really tell you a whole lot.
Yep.
But now what they're doing is, with all of this 3D technology, they're 3D scanning entire collections of museums and putting them into this database.
That's so cool.
So you're able to access that.
Nice. Like you could see the 3D like scans and stuff.
Yeah, because they just take like pictures, right, and make the 3-dimensional model.
Nice.
So you don't have to like call up the ROM, the Royal Ontario Museum, and be like, "Hey, I want to study a Triceratops. Can you send me a Triceratops?"
Yeah. That's cool.
You can just go on the computer and be like...
Nice. I think, like, that's going to be... And it probably already has, you know, started in some aspects. I'm still, like, learning a lot about VR, too, and what it's capable of and what's going on in the world of VR. But I think, like, being able to go into a VR thing with, like, 3D versions of kind of dinosaur bones and mapped out... And you just have this VR exhibit where you're walking around and it's all dinosaur. Well, I don't know. It might exist already. I'm not
for VR.
Yeah, for VR. I'm not sure, but I think that would be super cool that you have a VR on and then you have dinosaur skulls all over the place that you can learn about and see. And you don't have to go to all these places where they are because they're all mapped out, like you say, right? Yeah. So you have this database that you can explore and everybody can share. And you can all learn about these different things, and you could just kind of do it through VR or something like that.
I know they have like 3D walkthrough stuff, but it's not quite the same thing as VR. Mm-hmm. That was kind of VR in its infancy.
True. I think like the cool thing about VR and the whole point of it is that when you have it on, like you'd be able to do this, and you're like looking at it like you're actually looking at it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's so cool. You could actually walk up to the skull or whatever and just look at it with the VR on, and you could have that experience, but you don't actually have to you don't actually have to be there and travel super, super far. So it helps people that can't travel all over the place, you know what I mean, to see all these things in person. So I think, to me, that's what that experience would be that would be really cool. For people that can't travel to see all these skulls that are all over the place, you could still have that experience through kind of like a VR setup, which I think would be really neat and would be really sweet.
I'm sure that will come down the pipe.
I think so. And I mean, there's so many cool VR things that have already, come forward that I think that could be a cool one to add. Maybe there's already some things.
I also think that would be
possible.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah, dude. But I think the most interesting thing is how much is under the surface that we all kind of walk around on that we don't even know is right under our feet.
Oh,
and I think about that a lot too.
I was just thinking about it because I was looking at it. So there's like a little notch here.
Okay,
see
what's
this little
that?
Notch?
Yeah, what's that?
Well, we don't 100%.
Is that on the other side too?
Yep.
Can you see the notch on this side?
Yeah. It kind of goes up and down.
Okay.
So it's like right here.
Yeah. So there's a notch.
Spinosaurus has like a really big notch there.
Okay.
It's very prominent.
Oh, yeah, it truly jets out.
They think it was to like help hold on to prey, that notch, to keep it from getting out, because they think that they were predominantly fish eaters. So
okay, so when they put their mouth into the water, they could grab it, and then that way it would just kind of hold
stuck.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It's like, what did we watch the other day with was that alligators, and they were catching the fish? You remember that?
Yeah, that was cool.
So the alligators, the fish were spawning, and they were just sitting there
like no, no,
just chomping the fish, just alligator style
then
and
you see him
stuff.
swimming away, and he's all fat.
Yeah. So the alligators have that same kind of clamp down. Crocodiles, alligators, whatever ones you want to talk about. But they all have the clamp down, right?
Well, it depends. Alligators are a little bit different because they don't have muscles to open their mouth.
Yeah.
It's passive.
And then it depends on what they're catching too, what they want to eat.
Yeah, because they have an ability to be gentle with their mouths. Yeah. Like you see mama crocs.
Mm-hmm. You can put your hand in there, it's fine.
And like they carry their babies in their mouths. Don't put your hand in there. It will eat you.
Don't do it. Unless you're on an episode of Jackass, and even at that. Did you remember the one where he was crawling on the wire?
I loved it.
And the food was dangling down?
You could hear the gator, croc, whatever it was.
The food was dangling down from his ass, and he was hanging on the thing. And the crocodile was going.
Awesome.
That was funny.
Respect for those animals.
Oh my god, that was funny.
Respect.
Yeah, you gotta respect them.
Mad respect.
For sure. Definitely gotta respect the animals that can bite your hands off.
Those things have been around for millions of years. Like wait, hang on. Let me just think. I think Dinosaur was 76 million years ago to like 65 or 63 million years ago.
Whoa.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. I lied. No? Yes, I did lie.
You're just figuring out the facts.
70-some million to 60-some million.
Okay,
we'll
so 70-some million to...
I'm bad with numbers.
60-some million years ago.
And when you're a paleontology enthusiast, it's difficult.
There's a lot of numbers to remember.
There's a lot of numbers, people.
There's a lot of numbers to remember. There's a lot of years to go back.
It's a whole lot of years.
And history, as far as things that have been on the Earth, when it goes into the millions of years back, is nuts. Like, it's insane how far back we go. And I'm fascinated by that turning point, where they figure that the first, humans they could think and process thoughts at a higher level, kind of came into the world. And that's a weird turning point that they're still kind of leaning on. And I think it's still open to opinions for quite a lot from what I understand. It's not
I think so.
100% dialed into facts, but there's some bigger kind of questions there.
Yeah, because I think it's been a long time since I've looked into human evolution and archaeology, but if I remember correctly, they used to think that it was kind of like a gradual thing, or like the mind, like the brain, got bigger and bigger and bigger, and like the skull kind of expanded and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they found one that was older and like more in the middle. But its head size kind of skewed that up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because it actually was like, I think, bigger than like this one over here.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So its head size was bigger, so it skewed the timeline a little bit, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, because it was bigger, but it was older than one with a smaller head.
So they were trying to say that the head was getting bigger as time was getting closer to now.
Yeah.
But at the same point, they found a bigger head that was older. Huh.
Yeah.
That was the what was the one skull? Lucy? Was that what it was called?
Oh, Lucy.
What was the Lucy skull?
Species she is.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
Lucy, they found her whole body, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Boo! I don't want to be the one that quotes that because I'm learning here. So
I think they found her whole body. I don't think Lucy's just a skull.
Okay, I'm like learning a lot about this right now. And
I'm like digging back in my brain because it's been a long time.
I'm trying to process these new informations that I'm getting about like the start of the first like skulls. And everything. There's a lot. There's a lot to process. So I'm in a learning curve right now.
I can't remember what species Lucy is.
Oh, okay.
If she's Homo sapien or if she's before that.
But that one was what, 3 million years ago?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss that out. But like I said, I'm learning about it too. So
somewhere between 2.5 and 3.
2.5
somewhere
and 3.
In there.
Like so, that's a 3 million year old skull that they found. Possibly the entire body.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think they found
cool.
that she had like arthritis or something.
Cool. Okay.
But she was really young. I think they think she was young.
Oh shit. Okay.
I think.
Okay. All right.
I'm saying this with very tentative words.
Yeah, no, that's a thing, right? It's like we're still learning a lot about this, and there's a lot of information.
It's not my area of
same here. I'm kind of like I'm picking up books. I'm learning about it. And I'm trying to get better at understanding the origins of, just people and like the ape-like things that were before us. Because it's so fascinating to try and learn more about what people have discovered.
Human evolution is whack.
Human evolution is the coolest topic to jump into. And the thing about it is that you have to put it away for a while because it's so heavy. And there's so much information in human evolution. That when you start to look into that, you're just like, okay,
you rabbit hole.
Like this is a deep one, and it takes a long time to get to the understandings that certain people have of human evolution. But it's so interesting.
Yeah,
it's
really
like a fascinating topic.
It's pretty cool. Yep. Human evolution is great.
But it's cool to know that they could find arthritis in a skeleton that
arthritis in dinosaur skeletons too.
Yeah, I know, right? So you could take this from millions of years ago, find out that it has arthritis, and you did some research on something that was 45 million years old or whatever, right? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that we can do that now. That's like, this is the thing about the, human evolution, the ability to think more. I think I read something that there was some questioning when, based on eating more meats and different types of foods that evolved kind of the human mind into the start too.
I remember reading
based on eating fish or more proteins or higher intake of that kind of.
Wasn't there something too with cooking food?
Like the invention of tools.
Yeah, the invention of tools and fire and
actually,
how
I
to
have
cook
this quote.
Meat.
Yeah, I have this
and vegetables.
This quote that I kept from this one. I might as well bring this one because this is the one that I'm in. Okay, so the one that I'm jumping into.
This guy, I think we've said this before, but this guy has gone full on bookworm, and I'm an embarrassment.
Yeah, I like reading books now. It's like my favorite thing to do. I used to not read a lot, but now I'm hooked. So
interesting.
So I'm currently digging into the Martin Meredith. This is the book of the week this week. We're mixing it up.
The book of the week.
The book of the week. I'm mixing it up. I'm mixing it up this week.
I think we should always mix it up.
Exactly. I like mixing up. Life, you got to mix it up. So I'm going with the book of the week this week. We got Martin Meredith coming in with Born in Africa, The Quest for the Origins of Human Life. So, so this is the book of the week this week. And I'm jumping into this one. A pretty nifty read, I must say myself. Nifty. And this thing is packed with information. If you want to... follow the quest for the human origins. This book is great so far, and like I'm about halfway.
What year is that from?
Oh man, I don't know what to tell you.
It's always important when you're reading some type of scientific book or like archaeology or paleontology, whatever.
It says here 2.7 million years ago. I know it's on the inside. It's probably right there.
2011.
2011, so not 2.7 million years ago.
Quite.
So this book wasn't published 2.7 million years ago. This isn't a discovery that was published during the first evolution. But this one's good. This one's good. I'm enjoying reading this and learning all about how many people are concluding that we probably are born in Africa.
I feel like that's a pretty common...
Africa, the start of us.
Consension. Is that a word? It is now.
Consension.
Like Consension.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find that quote. There was a cool one in here that really kind of stuck with me. It was about tool makers. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe I'll just read this. Yeah. But in view of the skill the tool makers at Ghana applied, the origin of tool making clearly lies further back within the Australopithecine world.
Not bad.
Pithecine world.
There you go.
Okay. Cut marks on bones found at Dikika in Ethiopia provide evidence of possible tool use as far back as 3.4 million years ago. I thought that was really cool.
Do they know that it's from humans, though?
Well,
because
tool
birds.
use, so...
But animals use tools, too.
Although simple, this pioneer technology was effective enough to last for nearly 1 million years, being used long after the first Homo had arrived on the scene. So long before the first Homo had arrived on the scene, they were using tools.
Well, because Homo is a genus. So we are Homo sapien sapien.
Yeah.
So we're the hyphenated sapien. So
I thought that was pretty cool.
There was a Homo sapien before us.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then we had another evolution point.
Oh, well, there it goes.
Plop.
Plop. Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, like, it's super cool.
And some scientists say that we are right now going through a biological evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Whereby our, like, butts and spines and hips are changing? Because we've become more sedentary than before. Like, we were much more nomadic, right?
Okay.
We were moving around a lot more. And now, with modern world, people are on their butts a lot more. So our butts are changing to help support the sitting posture.
Okay, fair.
Or butts and hips.
That's why I was kind of a fan of the people that adapted standing desks and stuff.
I love standing desks.
I think if you need to be at a desk for a little bit of time, the standing desk is definitely, in my opinion, a better desk.
Yeah.
Because if you have to do something, and even if you have maybe a taller chair too, you can just kind of sit in for a second. But it's very important, in my opinion, that we stand way more than we sit.
Yeah.
Because every time you sit, you're just kind of like...
You flump.
You're flumping.
And this is really bad for your body.
Yeah, and it kills your posture.
And I'm talking to myself too, because I've gotten very flumpy.
Fair. Okay, so less flumpiness from you.
I'm trying!
Less flumpiness!
I've been in a deep, dark depression lately.
Less flumpiness! Nice earrings, by the way. Those are great.
Thanks. I've had these for a really long time.
What are those earrings?
They're
Talk
feathers.
about your earrings.
I don't know. I think they came from, like, Ardene's or Claire's or some shit.
Okay,
They're just
cool.
a cheapy earring.
They're just feathers.
Yeah, they're just a feather. And
so
then
these feathers date back from 10.5 million years.
Absolutely. And they have, like, a little metal bit that is a feather that wraps around the real feather. But the metal bit now looks silver, but it used to be bronze at one point in time. But the finish has worn off because they're a gazillion years old.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah, but
Well, it kind of gives
feather earrings.
It gives it a unique look too, like the aging look that things get and stuff like that. I think that's cool. I like
patina.
that. It's called patina.
Well, one specific type of aging is called patina, where it's that like greenish hue that copper turns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you make that, it's called patina.
Cool, sweet, that's awesome.
Yep. I wanna make some feather earrings. I love feather earrings.
Nice.
I was all into looking at like DIY accessories today for some reason, and like just trying to push myself more in that direction because I can do that kind of shit, and I love accessories. And oftentimes when I'm looking for accessories, I'm like, oh, if it would have had this, it would have been great. If it would have had this, it's missing that, or I would have added this. It's like, well, do it then.
Yeah, and I think like the thing about you is I don't think you're picky, but you're selective.
I am.
And there's a difference between being picky and being selective in my mind.
I know what I want.
I think when you're selective, you know what you want, and when you're picky, you don't know what you want, but you're just picky.
Yeah, like.
But
no, I just know what I want.
if someone says to someone, "Hey, you're being too picky," I think you can throw it back and just be like, "I'm just being selective." So you can do that totally.
You can.
And then they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, okay. Well, selective is good. Take your time, pick what you want. It's good to be selective. You know, it's better to be selective than just like, no, I'll take that and I won't take that.
Yeah.
This isn't exactly what I want, but I'll take it. You know, it's kind of like
an individual.
Yeah, be selective with your accessories, especially. You know,
they're so like
they're an extension of you, who you are.
Yeah.
So you gotta have that right accessory. You gotta dial it in.
You
gotta dial it in for sure.
Do it.
For sure, absolutely.
Like my scarf, that won't stay where I want it to.
And not only do we have one book of the week this week.
Oh, hold on.
We have
malfunction.
2 books of the week.
Hold up. We got a wardrobe malfunction. My scarf is de-scarfing. Okay. There's the scarf. Really over it being cold. I want to be in a desert.
April Fools. Our weather up here, we got about 15 centimeters of
More
snow.
than that.
Like we got
At
like
least
20, probably a foot of snow.
Yeah.
I would say
I'd say a foot.
Probably more.
Probably more than a foot.
So April 1st up here, we get 1.5 feet of snow, and we're just sitting. We're just sitting here. We look outside. We're like, is this a joke? Like, this has to be a joke,
Woke
right?
up in the morning, like, holy shit!
There was 1.5 feet of snow April 1st up here, and we were like, this is nuts. Like, this is bananas. So thanks, weather, for the nice joke this year. We appreciate it. We appreciate your 1.5 feet of snow that you gave us on April 1st this year. That was great. That was really nice of you. And yeah, so we have
my scarf will not scarf.
Another book that we're bringing in. We're going book heavy this week. And
well, I just finished my other book.
Okay.
And this is a book I just started. What page am I on? I'm like 26. Like I just started this book, so don't ask me too much about it.
I'm not gonna ask you too much about it.
I mean, I have like a little bit of knowledge about this already.
But it's a little bit okay.
But this story is told by many voices.
Oh, okay. Fair.
My book is Witches. There it is. It is I guess not a biographical. That was a stupid word. I don't want to say it's a biography because it's not right, but it's a historical account.
Okay.
There it is. It's a historical account of the witch hysteria that happened mostly in Massachusetts in 1692. Mostly Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal in the majority of America back then.
I think there's a lot of
innocent people died for stupid reasons.
There's a lot of human history that points to moments of pure hysteria. And it's interesting to see what causes the hysteria, but you can see it over and over again in different periods.
I think this book is kind of going to go into that. Like, what in their minds, because like it's in 1692. Like that's many years before our modern knowledge of medicine and psychiatry and shit like that. So people were suffering from various mental disorders or like different flus and smallpox and shit like that that people didn't really understand. So to them, because they became hyper-religious, to them it was some sort of witchcraft or demonic entity or like...
They were kind of going against the flow of what was normal back then or whatever, right?
They didn't understand what was happening. Like right now what I'm reading is there's this family and they have... What do they have? Like 8 kids or some shit?
Okay.
And 2 of their girls ended up, for some reason or other, because I haven't finished the story yet, but completely in hysterics.
Okay.
Like would say that their skin was being stabbed with stakes and they were on fire. They would like contort into different ways. Apparently they would scream for, hours and hours on end. And these people lived in a tiny little house. So it's not like now where like if you have a relative that's living with you who's sick and in pain, usually you can kind of leave a little bit and have a bit of a rest moment for yourself.
Yeah.
But with them, they often had to stay in the same room.
Oh, shit.
Or they would put these girls in a separate room and lock them in there because they were just in absolute hysteria.
Whoa.
And they didn't know what was wrong.
What was going on with them, what the problem was. Just a lot of hysteria.
Like, right now, what it's saying is it was probably, I think it was smallpox. Because this one family ended up catching smallpox.
Okay.
And because they didn't understand that smallpox is extremely contagious, they didn't think that if you weren't like right beside somebody, like they didn't understand how diseases were spread.
Yeah, because it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
People didn't have the same knowledge as now.
No, and it was talking about like some of the ailments that they would use, like, oh my fucking god, like, they took the girl's urine, mixed it with bread flour, and some other type of ingredient, and fed it to the dog. And apparently,
what?
Yeah, apparently what this would do...
They fed it to the dog?
They fed it to the dog, because to them, what this would do is it would draw because they thought that they were cursed by witchcraft. So not that they were witches, but that they were under spell, essentially. So by feeding their urine and other things to this dog... They thought that the witch who caused the curse would come forward to the dog.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like there was just a lot of weird, there's all kinds of stuff. I don't even know.
That's wackiness, man.
Yeah, it's...
Well, like...
Burnt black cow dung or frog liver powder administered 5 times daily. Drops of lavender and a mouthful of gingerbread cured memory loss. A wolfskin girdle apparently was really good for epilepsy. Like, fat of a roasted hedgehog dripped into the ear is supposed to help deafness. Like, that's what I mean. People back then didn't have the knowledge that we have now. And
wow.
The world forgets that.
Yeah, I think as people and as a, as a society that grows and learns...
This is written by Stacy Schiff, by the way.
Okay, cool. Right on.
Who looks like Princess Diana, which is weird.
Yeah. The most interesting thing that I think we could always do is just share our information with each other, but at the same time, like, you can learn from the past, but a lot of times, like, we'll make the same mistakes just because we're still just people, It's like you can learn from the past, but... You also have to understand that everybody is at different levels of what they know and what they don't know. And that's how I always see it. Like, I don't know so many things, and I do know some things, but I don't know so much shit. You know what I mean? So the way I always see it is that everybody's at different levels of what they know and what they don't know.
Yeah.
But it's important for us to share what we do know, and it's important for us to acknowledge what we don't know.
Exactly.
And just learn from each other through books or whatever it might be.
And if you think about it, like going back to talking about smallpox, if you had never seen smallpox before...
That would have looked like...
Because the girls that it's talking about right now were complaining of bites. That's what they called them. And they were just like little swollen lumps that were extremely itchy and irritating.
Yeah.
Which is a symptom of smallpox. But they didn't know. So to them, they thought that there were insects that were being manifested that would come at them in the night and chew on them.
Yeah.
And eat their flesh.
That's crazy. And see, I think this is the thing that happens a lot, is that a lot of people say, oh, that's full of disinformation and that's misinformation. It's like, to you it might be because you know the truth about something, but to that person, they might not know the same thing as you.
Yeah.
So they might feel like they're saying the truth, and they might feel like that's what's right, but it's just because they don't have the same knowledge, you know what I mean? So it doesn't mean that they're like a wrong or a bad person. It just means that they need to learn a bit more, you know what I mean? And that's the way that I see it, and especially with witches. Like, that shit's crazy, the stuff that they used to do.
Yeah.
But that was, like, worlds ago, and people have come a long way since
A lot
that.
of it, I didn't know this, but a lot of it wasn't even recorded. Like, it's just very small snippets of information, because people, I guess, didn't really keep diaries and things written down as much. So... Like, there was one guy, he was a minister, and he has diaries for basically his whole life, with the exception of I think it was 2 years between the 1692 and 1694. He didn't write anything, which is exactly like the main points during this time.
So he had diarrhea for his entire life, except for those 2 years.
Yeah, he was diarrhea free for 2 years.
And he got his diarrhea to be free for... What did he do to get rid of the diarrhea?
How
did he...
burnt cow dung.
But then the diarrhea came back.
Yeah.
Because he started eating cow dung again?
Well, see, he ate...
You can't eat cow dung.
He ate the burnt cow dung to cure the diarrhea. Because the burnt cow dung...
Of course.
Like, helps to solidify your diarrhea.
Ah, there you go. That's the information.
But he got lazy and didn't feel like cooking his cow dung anymore. So he just ate raw cow dung.
He stopped cooking the cow dung.
Yeah, and that's where the diarrhea came back.
You can't not cook the cow dung.
Yes.
If you don't cook the cow dung, you're going to get sick.
So
people need to remember to always cook the cow dung.
Always cook the cow dung.
See, that is good, valuable information. If you don't cook the cow dung, your diarrhea is going to come back.
Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that people need to remember. Always cook your food and your cow dung properly, right?
Absolutely.
Or else you'll just have a whirlwind of health issues.
It's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. But I honestly, I'm fascinated. The witches stories and that, it's like, that's some real spooky shit, man. The stuff that people used to actually do.
There's
like,
some
that's
shit,
wild.
There's some
it's
shit
wild.
that, like, they still don't know how it happened.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, apparently there was this one old woman who...
It's crazy times.
Claimed that, and I think it's going to go further into this, but she claimed that she jumped on a broom and flew X amount of miles. And went to a different city.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that, and then she fell out of the sky.
Oh.
The weird thing is that she did go these incredible distances.
Okay.
And they don't know how she did it. Because she got there super quickly. In comparison now, most people will get there by, like, horse.
Riding a horse, sure. Yeah, you're on a horse.
Or horse and buggy.
Horse and buggy, yeah,
so, like,
absolutely.
normally it would take you, 5 days to get to a particular place, but she got there in 2. And they're like, well, how did this bitch do that? And then she apparently fell out of the sky, and people claim they saw this happen. So...
That's some wacky ass shit. There's so many,
stuff.
I'm just like endlessly...
I love things that are mysteries.
Me too. I'm endlessly fascinated by a good mystery, a good tale that, has basically no logical explanation attached to it. I'm fascinated by those stories, and that's why it's witches, UFOs, aliens. It's always just so open-ended and interesting that you have to be kind of open to just the weirdness and draw your own conclusions. I think that's what's important, is that you draw your own conclusions based on, you know, what's out there. You know, just draw your own conclusions, you know.
Yep.
Don't rest your conclusions on anybody else 100%. Draw your own conclusions. Read your own things and just enjoy your own stories.
Well, and that's actually how truth gets discovered, is when you come up with your own conclusions.
You have to, right? Because then it's like, okay, well, this is that person's conclusion, and then you listen to it, and you might agree with it and you might not, but at least that person tried to figure out a conclusion, right? They're like, this is what I think happened. Okay, let's check it out. And you can agree, you can disagree, but at least they're trying, you know what I mean? You need people that try to find conclusions and try to find, you know, the facts about everything. And yeah, sure, there's a lot of open-ended, fluffy, great stories, and that's, you know, ultimately they have their place because they are interesting. They're incredibly interesting. And I love fiction. I love fiction. Like, I love fiction, I love science fiction, and I'm a storyteller myself. So as a storyteller myself, I love telling a good story, but I also love, you know, enjoying reading or seeing a good story. So, you know, I'm just here for the stories, to be honest. Whether they're truthful, they're not truthful, I'm just all about the stories, and then I draw my own conclusions. Nice burp, by the way. You've had like 4 this episode.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good.
Interesting. But yeah, capturing, you know, writing books, kudos to these amazing people for writing some cool books and passing on their knowledge and their version of the stories, you know what I mean? Because now I can read that, and this was written over 10 years ago, and it's new to me, you know what I mean?
This written, I don't know. I want to say 2015.
Yeah. So, you know, like, I'm just reading this one now, learning about this, and you're reading that, learning about some witches. There's so many stories out there, and that's why it's awesome.
This one has a lot of weird blah 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 in the front of it.
There you go.
This book is so great. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, 2015.
2015. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
And it's got this neat little map. There's like a turkey. See?
Oh yeah, that is neat.
It's the detail of Massachusetts Bay. See, there's Salem over here.
Oh yeah.
I think Boston is... Oh, there's Boston, Roxbury.
Oh.
I thought Boston was over here more.
That's like an old map?
Yep.
That's an old map.
Yeah, it's an old map.
So that's from 1692?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Huh.
Yep.
I'll take a picture of that and then I'll display it so they can see that map.
Yeah,
that's a cool map.
y'all
There's no
won't
way
be able
that
to
I'd
see
be able
this.
to see it, yeah. Maybe I'll load that up. I'll figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's a map from 1692. I do love old maps.
Maps
are cool. The evolution of maps and mapping, that's a whole other world.
That is a whole thing on its own.
Oh god, there's so many things.
I used to work with a girl.
Do you think we have a bit... Okay, no, tell your story.
Okay. I used to work with a girl who was taking geography in university, and she would tell me all about map making, because apparently that's actually what geography is in university.
Map making.
It's the development of maps.
You're making maps, yeah.
You're making maps, and you're learning how to read maps,
Yep.
which I need a whole lot of help with. So...
No comment.
So bad. I'm so bad.
We've missed a few turns.
I can't even read a map on Google Maps.
We've missed a few turns in some road trips over time.
Awful. Anyway,
We've missed a few turns. No comment.
First step is admitting you have a problem.
The first step is to admitting that the second step is to just keep it going because you can't figure it out anyway.
So she would tell me all these stories about how maps got developed over time. It was super interesting, and that's all I wanted to say. It was really cool.
Oh, okay, cool. No, I just wanted to say, I think all I wanted to say was that there's just so much information in today's world. We like live in the opposite times now, where it's like there's so much information, and it's important to just understand what you need to know, and don't feel bad if you don't know everything, because there's so much. There's so much. It's like, be easy on yourself because nobody knows everything, and it's impossible.
Be excited when you don't know something.
That's the way I look at it. I'm excited when I don't know things
like,
because then I
learned something new.
can try and figure it, and there's endless topics. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, think of it as an exciting thing when you don't know something, right? Because then you're like, I don't know shit about this, and then you can kind of like learn about it.
Yep.
That's the way I try to do it too. And it makes learning more fun.
It does.
You know, if you're like excited a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's something that you don't necessarily like or you might forget down the road a little bit, but
You know, I'm a believer that even if you think you don't like something, if you take the time, often you can find something within that subject that you'll connect with.
True. And I'm a believer that even if you feel overwhelmed while you're learning something new, you're going to remember at least 1% of it.
Yeah, and if you get overwhelmed, put it away for a little while.
And that is better than no percent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, put it away for a while, take a break, come back. It's kind of like what I do with music. If I learn stuff, I take a break, I come back, and then I do more music, and then... Because that's just what I love, so...
I just handed in a bunch of artwork.
Yeah, this beautiful lady finished 6 beautiful art paintings.
7.
7 beautiful art paintings.
7.
That's right, 7. Not 6.
And it's weird to not see them in here anymore.
Yeah, we
because
freed
they were
up
hiding
some
down
space.
here for months.
And
but it's what I was gonna say about it is what's nice is that I feel like I can take a bit of a break. Because if anyone out there is a professional artist, musician,
should you plug your Instagram?
What?
Should you plug your Instagram?
No.
Okay.
No. If someone out there is, like I said, in the creative field, you know that you don't really take breaks.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So
I'm so guilty.
I know.
Sometimes, yeah, she'll have to remind me to, like, have a snack because I'll be working on a creative project. It's like, you haven't had a snack in a while.
Babe, you haven't taken a piss in 8 hours. That probably means you should drink some water.
I'm almost done. I'm wrapping it up. I'm almost done my project.
And then it'll
It's
go
coming
to
to
be
a
like, my
conclusion.
piss is orange. I need water. Yeah.
Maybe I should sip on some more water. Should sip on some more waters.
Water.
A little bit of water.
No,
Just
water.
to drink some more waters. But congratulations on finishing your 7 projects. Or your 7 paintings.
Thank you.
Felt like 7 projects.
It felt like 7 years.
Felt like 7 years. It did feel like 7 years.
It really did.
I think that took 7 years out of your life, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably. I feel like it did, yes. Yeah.
I think you lost some time on your life with that project.
I think I might have knocked a couple years off.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
Can you do? You got it done.
I got it done.
So that's what matters. That's important.
And it's already making people happy, so that's cool.
The positive feedback is beyond belief, so that's pretty amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yep. And you didn't offend any witches along the way. So that's good.
Wonder if I'll offend anybody. I don't think so.
They're beautiful paintings. You can't offend someone. Well, you probably could offend someone with beautiful paintings. I mean, I don't know. In today's day, anything is possible. I don't rule anything out anymore. So
No.
You never know.
No.
Nothing's ruled outable. Anything is possible.
Yep.
But in a beautiful way.
Yep.
I always say in a beautiful way. Because it really is. It really is. Opinions are beautiful.
They are.
Whatever you want them to be.
I enjoy
I don't
the
even
opinion.
care. The more opinions, the better.
Go for it.
The more unpopular opinions, the better.
Please be opinionated.
Just share your opinions.
Nothing annoys me more than when someone doesn't have an opinion on
That's
something.
true.
Drives
That's
me
true.
batshit.
Just have an opinion, not anything, please.
I don't care what it is.
It can be an unpopular opinion. It can be a bad opinion. There's no bad opinions. There's no bad opinion.
no bad opinion.
That's impossible.
Just have one.
Just share your opinion. Please have an opinion. We need people to have opinions.
Please.
All opinions are valid.
All the opinions.
All opinions are valid. Even if they're unpopular opinions, all opinions are valid.
We're all cremated equal.
The only way we can ever hash things out is with a bazillion opinions. So we need opinions. Opinions make the world go round. So keep those opinions going because they are extremely important. And you're like doing a hip shake. You're trying not to get the new human DNA where our hips like are starting to rot and shit because we don't move enough.
My hips are already doing that.
You think people should use hula hoops more? Should hula hoops be brought back into daily people's lives?
I suck at hula hooping.
I think if you put 10 minutes of hula hooping into your day, you're going to be a happier person.
I think so. Even if you just fake hula hoop.
Even if you just fake it. It's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. See, that's why I was doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. So, add 10 minutes of fake hula hooping into your day.
Hooping. You can do like feet together hula hooping.
Look at this one. This one's cool.
Whoa.
Feet together hula hoop?
Yeah, feet together hula hooping.
My pants are going to fall off.
It's a good thing no one can see. They fell off.
I told you my pants were gonna fall off. And I'm not wearing pants anymore.
He's not wearing pants.
But yeah, 10 minutes of hula hooping. 10 minutes of hula hooping goes a long way.
Goes a long way.
And I think
It's our advice for the day.
hula hooping, 10 minutes of hula hooping a day changes your life. So get that hula hoop on if you want to live a fast, healthy, and safe life.
Yep.
Maybe not fast. Why would it be fast?
I don't know why you said
No,
fast.
fast is the wrong word.
X-nay that.
No, we're going to scratch out fast. We're going
Yeah.
to take the word fast. We're going to bring it back.
Yep. Not fast.
Healthy. We're going to keep that. We're going to keep that in.
Healthy's good.
Unless you have hip problems, you might want to check yourself.
Just be mindful.
Be mindful if you have hip issues on
Or
how much
back
you
issues.
hoop.
You can kind of throw that out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, possible. And we'll just leave it at healthy. And interestingly
Fun.
weird. Fun. It's fun.
It's fun to
I'm
hula
going to
hoop.
put my pants back on.
Okay.
It was getting cold down there.
It's frosty.
Yeah, it's a little frosty. Like I said, we got over a foot of snow April 1st. April Fools from the weather. Oh yeah, this thing is cool. Okay, I'm done now. You started it. I wouldn't have done
I did it once.
Yeah, I know, but you know how I am. You know how I am.
Well,
Once you start something, I'm gonna keep it going. I'm just like, but don't. Do you think they had those 1.5 million years ago?
oh yeah.
Little gongs?
How old is like the Chinese and Japanese?
I don't know about
dynasties?
1.5 million years ago, but you know they had them a long time ago. 1.5 million years is a little bit far. We're
For the like beginning of Japanese dynasty? I don't know. Maybe it's only a few thousand years.
Let's go with that.
It could have been a million.
Let's go with that.
Why can't it be a
It
million?
can be whatever you want it to be, because it's your opinion. So it could be whatever you want it to be. It's your opinion. What do you want your opinion to be?
1 billion.
Okay, so it's 1 billion. That's your opinion. There you go. See, your opinion is valid. I valid your opinion. You have a valid opinion. I'm not going to throw you under anything because I don't like your opinion.
It's a terrible opinion. It's
Yeah.
not 1 billion years old.
But it was fun. You tried something anyways.
Thanks.
And then I just, oh no, I don't want to take the bookmark out. I was going to show your bookmark that you made, but I don't want to take it out because I'll lose my page. She made me a cool bookmark. Now, you know what? I can just do this.
I'm doing it.
This is a cool bookmark.
There it is.
I hope they can see this.
I think so.
So she made me this cool bookmark, and she wrote my boo mark on it, and there's ghosts.
They're boo.
Yeah, exactly. My boo mark, and they're little ghosts. I think it's the cutest.
There's a Mario ghosts.
I think it's the cutest thing ever.
Thanks.
That was awesome. I was pretty cool when you made that, but I mean, yeah. I never thought that I would be reading as much as I am right now, to be
neither.
quite honest with you.
I'm impressed.
I'm like going through different things. It's a phase, I guess.
Yeah. That's okay. Right.
Pick up some books and read, and then draw your own conclusions about witches, which is crazy. As if they used to burn people at like witches.
I know.
It's wild.
And dogs, apparently.
Oh.
They hanged dogs.
Sometimes you just want to become completely unaware of human history to the point where you're just like, wow, it's so strange. But here we are.
Human history is a wacky thing.
Here we are, living it today. Living it today, living it large. Another point in human history, right?
Yeah.
Because every point is a point in human history.
Yep.
And then we move sideways. Because moving forward is strange, so let's just move sideways. Are we going to wrap it up?
Yeah.
We're going to take our books out?
Yep.
Have a blessed day, everybody.
Have a wicked day, everybody.
Born in Africa.